survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we're going to be talking about the Battle Pass, just in general, how the Battle Pass has progressed, the kind of thoughts on the Battle Pass itself, and honestly it just being pretty bad compared to what it was once upon a time. It used to be one of the, if not the most hype part of the game when it came to a new release, be it people wanting to find out which characters you could get from the Battle Pass, what weapon, so on and so forth. I'm talking way back in the S-Class era, where you obviously had a store which you could decide which character you wanted to pick up. It was actual like a conversation that used to happen. It used to create a lot of hype. Also, the weapon was a big hype deal back then as well, because they effectively didn't show the weapon until it was released in-game. And that was really hype for content creators as well. I used to stream when the Battle Pass used to drop, and then I'd have sometimes 350 to 400 people watching for the Battle Pass to drop just to see what that weapon was going to be. Just because there was a little bit of hype around that Battle Pass. Considering at the time I would average 80 to 100 viewers, I was getting up to four times as many viewers as average because of hype, which is something that I've always talked about in RTS, that we have lacked quite heavily from over the course of the game. And then when we have had it, it unfortunately just gets disintegrated, and Scopely don't really take full advantage of it. And recently we've had just like weird switcheroos. Every other Battle Pass we've had some like attempt at including characters back in it to a certain extent, be it one copy for free to play and one copy from the purchased key. Lots of fluctuations recently, and lots of talk about the Battle Pass in general just not being that great, and a lot of obviously people remembering how great and exciting and fun the Battle Pass was. Considering it's a part of the game that people had to spend for, it was still enjoyable once upon a time, and I think they could bring that back if they really tried. Now, there are various parts of the Battle Pass which I do think needs addressing. One part is having the rewards a bit more accessible earlier on in the Battle Pass, rather than having them at the end tiers only. As you can see on the screen right now, Royal Tier 49, which is the second to last of the main tiers of the Battle Pass, which requires 97,000 points to achieve, you will get the weapon in the Battle Pass. But then if we scroll down one level later, you get the character at 100,000. This is of course only if you purchase the Battle Pass. In previous Battle Passes, way back when, they did used to have character crates at an earlier tier, like say tier 30, not just the end tier of the actual Battle Pass. This was also a separate reward from the main character, and this was given to free to play as a kind of catch up on one copy of a character in the S-Class era, which was the equivalent of 2 copies of a character in the Mythic era, because a character in the S-Class era equated to around about 40% of what you needed to get the character maxed out. Now, the reason I say this is just because in terms of having a better incentive to actually sell your Battle Pass, because you've got a good reward at an earlier level, which people will hit quicker and easier, giving them more opportunity to say this is a worthwhile purchase. This isn't happening anymore. You have to get quite late on in the Battle Pass. To get 100,000, it's going to take you over 20 days of the Battle Pass at 5.7k per day. It's maybe slightly less, maybe like 18 days of the Battle Pass. Whereas imagine you actually had the Battle Pass, one of the good rewards, let's say the copy of the character, being at level 20 instead. This means that after a week, or even less, depending on how many points you would actually have to get, it would also make some of these bundles more worthwhile, because if you look at the bundle here, you can see you can buy the key and 20,000 of the Battle Pass points just to get a head start. But imagine that 20,000 also got you to, let's say, level 20 straight away, and it got you the copy of the character day 1. There are people who want to pick up the copy of the character to test them out, to test out, how meta relevant they potentially could be, to test out potential character counters. For instance, Regina in the current grey market, people were buying offers to get her just 1 day earlier than when she came out on the Ultra Mythic wheel, just to test her out against your faction just to try and come up with ideas on how to take her down. What is happening currently with the battle pass is, a lot of the time the battle pass character is available in other parts of the game first, before you can even get them in the battle pass by getting the points, and by the time you get there, you might have that character maxed out already. For instance, Lily Call, her gold rush happened, I think 2 weeks before anyone could have potentially got her from the battle pass previously. And the only way they could have potentially got her from the battle pass was from buying the extra tokens to progress through the battle pass as well. And that's these tokens right here. However, if you were to buy the key on the right hand side, which gets you 20,000, you would need to buy this offer 40 times, and the grand total of what this is going to come to in cost is going to be just over $200 to max out a battle pass only to level 100 on day one. I looked into this because I had a conversation with Tex recently. He wanted to be able to pick up the battle pass early, and also maybe even potentially to catch up, because he's obviously working, he's got a full-time job, he's got a large family. He doesn't necessarily have time to do the missions every day, but he does have like $30 to throw at the game to try and finish the battle pass a little bit earlier. Now, I did have a small conversation with him about this, and I revealed to him how much this is actually going to cost. Check it out. So Tex, you would say that if the battle pass came out and you could buy like some levels in the battle pass, you would do that like day one, basically.
Oh yeah, easily. I would definitely do that if it was like reasonable. Because like, you know, people got like busy lives and stuff like that, and sometimes you just can't get on every day to, you know, do the BP missions and stuff like that, because you got to get to the end, right? And before you know it, it could be a day or two before you get on to do something. And you know, if you know they had a way for you to be able to like auto buy the battle pass, that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, and I think basically as well, you could use it as a catch up just in case you couldn't do it, you know, for know, on the daily. But also, you could do it where like you see the thing that is the main reward being worthwhile picking up early, to either test out early or to have for a couple of weeks earlier than other people, to try and just use and get the best out of. And they're not really giving that option, because I don't know if you knew, the cost, you can actually buy the battle pass fully, but it is not what you said, that reasonable price. I did the calculations and it actually comes to somewhere in the region of like $205 to $210 to do that.
What?
Yeah,
$200?
$200. And considering
for the battle pass
to completely max it out to level 100. That's just level 100, not even the bonus rewards.
Crazy, bro.
I know. Not even the bonus rewards. Now
and you don't even get a full character, because you know characters like,
yeah, I can't
$400.
I don't know what it used to work like when it came to the previous battle pass and how much it cost to completely buy it, but these ones now, it costs just over $200. That's not even include. I know that does include buying the key, but there's a pack in there that costs somewhere in the region of like $35 to $40, and you get the key and extra stuff and some progression in the battle pass, but it's only 20k points of the 100k to finish it. So I think unless they give you something in that first 20k points that's instantly worthwhile buying that, it just like the $200 is ridiculous.
That is mad. That is madness to me, though.
So as you can see, he is astonished, and you could see that he was just thinking about potentially just picking up to get a head start, just so he would actually complete the battle pass. And $200 to complete this is ridiculous. Is 100% ridiculous. He did also make a point about battle passes in some other games. You get a lot of things that are going to be permanent on your account and last, whereas battle passes in RTS, 99% of the stuff you get is basically something that is a consumable. It gets destroyed upon use, and you're going to be consistently using these things. So the value of the battle pass in RTS just seems to be extremely overvalued, which is obviously really bad. I think they're going to be missing out on money, but also enjoyment from your player base to actually be able to get the battle pass early, test out potential characters, and honestly, if Scopely make money in ways of things that they already deliver, i.e. the battle pass, it would generally make the player base a little bit happier, and maybe even spenders would get a little bit more hype for battle passes. Most people from who I've talked to who do spend on a regular basis are nowhere near excited about battle passes now as they used to be, which is no big surprise, honestly, about just based on how they're designed. So my recommendation is pretty simple. I think that they should create a lower tier reward for the purchased battle pass. I think they should also try and build up some hype for the battle pass itself a little bit. Maybe have a free-to-play reward in there as well that is actually usable and long-term on permanent on the account. I only think the avatar is a permanent feature on the account, which is not any power, which is obviously problematic. Every battle pass spenders get stronger, but every battle pass people who aren't spending don't get any stronger. So the power gap is increased a bit too heavily there. There should be some capture option on every battle pass for a free-to-play, and that potentially could be like one copy of a previously released fighter in a choice crate, effectively like the picture I've shown on screen was just one copy of a previous fighter that was usable. Like I said, this was the effective value of 2 copies in the Mythic era, but I think even just 1 copy of a character would be good. This might increase the value of a battle pass, definitely would make people buy it earlier because they could easily get their hands on earlier reward. Definitely something needs to be looked at when it comes to buying the tokens to progress the battle pass. There is zero way that the battle pass in RTS is worth $200 to buy it day one. Even if you add up all the things you get in there, you can buy all those things separately in different offers for way less than $200. The battle pass is meant to represent, generally speaking in games, the best value for money when it comes to mid spenders. Someone who can spend $10 to $20 to $30 to $40 a month should be always looking at that battle pass thinking it is the most worthwhile thing to pick up, like it is in pretty much 99% of gacha games I've ever seen. But RTS is kind of missing that at the moment. While people still do pick it up, I think they definitely could sell this more. If it had better value at different points in the battle pass as well, it would mean that there wasn't any conflict when it came to people deciding not to pick up the battle pass because they already had the character that was on offer in it from other means, just based on the timing and how long it took to get to level 100 versus when that character originally came out. That's just my thoughts anyway. Maybe you have some different thoughts on the battle pass. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about the current battle pass structure, what your feelings are about the battle pass itself. Do you want the hype to come back? This is definitely something that Scopely would be willing to put some time in to fix, because this is somewhere where they can make money out of this as well. So there is definitely some return on this. So this is much more likely to have some sort of address to it than some other parts of the game, like quality of life or bug fixing, let's say. Although those things definitely should be addressed too. Like I said, any thoughts in the comments down below. I want to thank you very much for tuning into my video. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.